All right, guys, lesson 4.8, last lesson in this triangle segment unit is medians and altitudes. So two more segments kind of similar to the previous two lessons. It will tell you to draw a specific triangle with certain angle measures. But to make this simple in the notes here, we'll just draw a random triangle. So draw a pretty big triangle again. Mine's again acute. Almost a right angle up there actually, but it doesn't really matter. Any type of triangle, but make it fairly big. We're going to look at medians. Okay, so this first one is medians. Medians go from, here's the definition, from the midpoint to the opposite vertex. Okay, and that sounds confusing, but all that means is you go find the midpoint of a side and go to the opposite corner. Okay, pretty easy on medians. Okay, so measure out the middle. Oh gosh, it's like 7.2. So I'm going to go at 3.6, but you can just find the middle on yours. Yours is obviously not the same as mine. Okay, go from there to the opposite vertex. It's not going to make a 90 degree. It might, but it doesn't have to make a 90 degree here. All it needs to do is go to this corner. That's a median. And do that on each side. I kind of screwed up and made this too big, so I need to use a bigger ruler. Okay, so I'm finding the middle of that side there. And then connecting that to the opposite corner. And then one more. And like before, they all should meet up at a single point if you do it accurately. Okay, so take your time, get that all. If you need to pause the video and work through that, but try to get them all to meet up at a single point. Okay, like before, this point here where they meet has a special name. So we say where medians meet is the centroid. Okay, centroid, that's new vocab here, where they meet as centroid. Physics-wise, it's actually the center of mass of the triangle. Okay, if it's a triangle, center mass, maybe you guys studied center mass. So if I cut this out and like it was a piece of cardboard and I cut this out and I put that point on my finger, it would balance at that point on my finger, if you can imagine that. If I held it upwards, it would balance there. It's at center, the center of the mass of this. Okay, that works for a triangle, medians. The other thing you need to know about medians is they divide the centroid divides the medians into a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, the centroid, which is here, divides it into 2-to-1 ratio. How you can show that on your assignment is you gotta show it by measuring. No circle to draw this time, so I'm gonna measure from, say, the end here to where these meet here to the centroid. Looks like 3.2, I would say here, centimeters. And now if I go here, it's, should be 6.4. Looks pretty close, okay? See the 2-to-1 ratio, 1 to 2, 2 to 1, whatever, okay? This is twice as big as that. And that should actually work with all of these. 5.5. So this is how you got to show it on your homework, is actually measure these out. And everybody's will be a little different, about 2.7. Okay, notice this is about basically twice as big as that. And then same thing here. Basically 2 and 4 there. Okay, that always works, 2-to-1 ratio. All right, the other one is altitudes. I want to show you today quick. So just make it acute, okay? Because obtuse altitudes are a little weird, so try to make an acute triangle. Yeah, boy, that's close. I think that's probably a Q up there, but it's close. Okay, altitudes. Okay, altitudes go through a vertex. Vertex is a corner, right? And perpendicular to the opposite side. Okay, perpendicular to the opposite side. Through a corner, perpendicular to the opposite side. Okay, so through here, I need to make a 90 with the opposite side. You could eyeball it, or you could use a corner, like a corner of a card or something. That would make a nice 90 and get it so you're going through this point, but also making a 90 degree to this opposite side. Okay, that's the altitude. It doesn't necessarily hit the middle down there. Okay, so now it's a little weird on these because I made it almost obtuse, but I'm going to go through that point, but it's got to make a 90 with this side here. See if it's possible. It's going to be very close to that side. Yours might not be that close to the side. Mine was very close like that, made a 90 here. Okay, but notice I went through this point and made a 90 there. And this one's also going to be really tight because I made it almost a right angle there. But right along through that point, it's going to be right there. Okay, here's maybe wouldn't have been so close to the edge there, but they should all meet at a point again. That point, just to finish it off here, is the ortho center. Ortho, like orthodontist. That's where the altitudes meet. There's not really a special property of that like there was on the other ones. It's just kind of where the altitudes meet. Altitude, think about altitude is like the height. You know, if I have a triangle and I say, what's the height of this triangle? You basically would go here, or like a mountain. That's a mountain goat. If you wanted to know the height of this mountain, you would obviously, you wouldn't go like on some angle, right? You would go, hey, boom, straight down, altitude. Okay, so think altitude is like height. It's straight down to the ground, so it makes 90 degrees to the ground. Okay, so that's everything for today, guys.